Okay, how did that one feel to you?
I mean, it felt good off the face. It's just
A little bit of a pull draw there. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take a look down the line here.
I either just pull it or it's a fade. So I know something's going on over the top or.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll definitely take a look at that. All right.
Chunky.
A little chunky there. How did that one feel?
That one felt good.
Okay.
That one felt okay.
Okay. How has your distance control been while you're playing? Are your irons been fairly consistent with your distances?
I would say yes.
Okay.
But that's always hitting my normal speed. Like if I try and adjust speeds, that's where I falter a little bit.
Okay.
Like if I'm in between, I always try to play a club less and power up and try and hit it more than kind of cutting one off and hitting it a lot lighter. I just feel like I have a hard time doing that.
Okay. All right. We'll work on dialing it back a little bit. Why don't you go ahead and take another swing for me, and we're going to talk for a minute. All right. All right, so let me take a look at your iron for a second. Okay. Yeah, I think we might, one of the first things we might want to do, completely aside from your swing, is take a look at clubs for you.
Okay.
These shafts, R300s, I think for the amount of power you're generating, are way too light of a flex.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is, as that club is approaching impact, okay, you're taking your normal swing, but that club face, because the shaft is loose, is going to be very inconsistent. At times it may be open at address, it might close early, you may chunk it, okay, but you're going to see a lot of inconsistent ball flight out there. Okay, so I think that in itself, if we can fit you into a proper shaft, you may be happier with the results as far as the consistency right and left.
Okay, so something stiffer?
I definitely think we're going to go stiffer. We'll get you on the launch monitor and fit you up, but I definitely think it's going to be a lot stiffer than that. It's no doubt going to be stiff, if not extra stiff for you. Yeah. You're generating a lot of power, and I guess we'll translate right into the next thing. One of the main things I saw in your swing was that you have a bit of a sway. Okay, so as you're moving, right, the body's doing a lot of lateral movement this way. Okay, and that's also going to breed some inconsistency when you talk about impact. Okay, we want to be as stable as possible. Okay, you have a fairly narrow stance, so first thing we're going to do is widen out your stance a little bit. That should help you. Okay, that should help resist the natural movement side to side in the swaying. Okay, the next thing I really want you to focus on is rotating around your core. Okay, when you go ahead and get in your setup position for me. Okay, so we have a little hunching going on in the back here.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to try to straighten up a little bit. We're going to get a little bit better spine angle. All right, so we're going to get a little taller in the chest. Okay, we'll get a nice spine angle here. And the next thing I really want you to feel, all right, is we're going to tighten that core. Okay, because we're going to rotate around that core. We want that core to be engaged. So as we get into our setup position, okay, as you start to rotate, you should feel that core engage as we get into the top of the backswing. Okay, and if we can get you rotating in this manner here, as opposed to coming back that way, that's going to be a better start. It'll put you in a better position at the top of the swing, and it's going to give you better impact. Okay, why don't we try to take a couple of swings? We're going to focus on that stability, okay?
Okay.
That was better.
Yeah, that felt good.
Yep. That was better. It's still the contact. That's one of those situations where I see you made impact slightly behind the ball there, and I'm wondering how much of that, you know, after making a good swing, how much are you being hindered by your golf clubs in that situation? Right. Yeah. So what we don't want is, you know, you're obviously a better golfer, you're lower handicap. When you take a good swing, I want you to be rewarded for that. It's not good if we're taking good swings and we're not getting the results we want. Then we start guessing and all kinds of other mental things start coming into the game. I want you to be able to keep it simple and take a natural swing. So what we're really going to be focusing on, it looks like, in your swing is that stability. Okay? Hopefully if we can stabilize that rotation in your swing, it's going to give you much more consistency when we talk about where that golf ball is going.
Yeah, because that's what I'm looking for. Because I mean, I always aim where I want to aim, but it seems like sometimes it's either a pull or a so it's fade to a slice. You know, it can be very, very harsh at times.
And I think a lot of that does have to do with those shafts.
Yeah.
I really do. All right.
Cool. Ooh.
A little quick. Slow the tempo right down. Good. How's your short game been feeling?
Been feeling good. Been feeling better.
Okay.
It's just always my distance control that needs work, especially, I mean, I feel like I've worked a lot from 70 to 75 yards.
Okay.
I have that down with my clock method. It's just now everything in between that.
Okay.
You know, because I feel like I still just swing too hard.
Sure. That's a perfect 7 o'clock shot right there.
Good.
You're right at 7 o'clock there, perfect follow through. And ultimately, one of the goals with the clock method that's going to help you find some consistency with it is, one, obviously hitting the right spot. Right? We're trying to hit the right spot. If we're aiming for 7, we want to hit 7. The next, though, is keeping the tempo consistent. Okay, because varying the tempo is going to vary, obviously, your club head speed and spin rate. So now we're talking about the shots going different distances. So if we can smooth out that tempo and maintain a consistent tempo, we'll be able to start gauging some of those distances a little bit better. All right, Dave, welcome back.
Thank you.
We've gotten the important part done. We got you fit for clubs.
New sticks.
So we got you into all X-Flex
Yeah.
stuff, which I think we've seen, you know, we're going to see some big difference there. Solid, a little to the left.
Yep.
A little bit of a sway there, I think.
Was it? Yeah.
Yep. Just a small one.
Sure.
But I mean, even that, I mean, we're looking at the miss, you know, your dispersion rate there to be 15 feet left of target on your miss, we could deal with that. Pin high left is okay. Stay nice and stable here. That was great. And the result is what we would expect. Okay, I'm happy to see that. That was definitely what we would expect. And that must have felt much better.
Oh, it felt really good. I think that one, I just tried to smooth it out and not really go after it, and just here to here, rotate from the core.
Yeah.
Just hit it solid. Work on that. Just hitting it solid, really.
That's good.
So.
All right, let's see you hit a few more. Wow, it's amazing. It's amazing how much more consistent that ball flight is.
Yeah, and I'm getting a lot. I can tell these. I mean, these are range balls, but I'm still getting a lot good spin on it. You know.
Yeah. Have you felt that you've lost any yardage with the new clubs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's one thing that I need to keep in my mind, that I am going to lose yardage.
Yeah.
And that I shouldn't go after it to
No.
try and get back to the yardage that I was getting before. But I've always said I'll give up 15 yards to hit it solid, hit it straight, hit a good ball flight.
Yeah.
Maybe 10. Okay, like 5.
No, it's good though. I think we're definitely seeing some of that. It doesn't seem like you're hitting your 8-iron quite as far. It definitely looks like you may have lost, you know, quarter to a half club there.
Yeah.
But hey, if we can be this consistent as far as your trajectory and where the ball's going, that's something to be happy about.
That one felt really good.
That was your best swing right there. That's excellent. Well, I'm very happy to see that. A little, yeah, I would say there was a small sway there. Nothing major though. I mean, I think the progression of that has gotten good.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be your miss.
Yeah.
Right? So now we're going to talk, you know, as we get through these lessons and we transition onto the golf course, we're going to start talking about the managing your golf game.
Yeah.
Okay, and we need to learn what your miss is. I think pretty clearly your miss is going to be to the left because of that sway. Okay, so there's a couple things you want to keep in mind. First of all, if you start hitting the ball to the left, you know what you're doing. Okay, you know what the fix is. You know, even a couple practice swings on the tee with your feet together is a good way for you just to kind of regroup throughout the round. You know, and some days it's probably going to be worse than others, and that's just the golf swing. And that's listening to yourself, that's listening to your golf game. And we'll talk about that more as we get out onto the golf course. But it's important that we start to identify some of those things as you're practicing. Right, and it's pretty clear that your miss is going to be to the left. So I think that's very important to keep in mind and to monitor going forward. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, I definitely see some improvement in your ability to hit the ball, and your impact has been good. Your angle of attack's been great, nice and consistent. You know, the thing we're working on, like you said, tempo. Your ability to control your tempo has really dictated your ability to gauge your distance. And that's important. You know, I know we talked about, you know, what happens when we move our feet around, how that changes, you know, your club face and your club path, and those two things are gonna help you create all those different shots. With the trajectory tower, obviously you're opening up the stance to hit the higher shots, you're closing it down to close that club face and keep compressing the ball through impact. So we really covered a lot, and it seems like you certainly understand it all. So I hope that, you know, you can take the practice routines and some of these drills and teaching aids and continue to work on those things as we move forward and progress with the swing as well. And hopefully we can start to piece these things together and get you out on the course playing some better golf.